You are now listening to Nexxlegacy Radio, a radio station for the people.
And this is how we started. What's good, people? This is Charles. I am Brandon Madison of Nexxlegacy Radio, and I have an icon with me. And Suga T knows what time it is, but I'm gonna tell the tale as far as how much of an impact she's had on my radio career and everything involved with music and everything. So, Suga T, I don't know if you remember this, but back in 2012, 13, 14, you were heavily instrumental. You know, you had your family, you had to click with me. We did up an interview back in the day. When I say back in the day, I've been doing radio 17 years now. And you've been a heavy, heavy part of this growth for so damn long. And not only do I appreciate everything that you have done, not just for my career, but others as well. You've inspired so many people throughout. And I want to also say Suga T is brought to you by www.sugar-t.com. You can follow her on social media as well. Book PR at sugar-t.com. And I have the iconic First Lady of Music, Suga T, is my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio. What's up, girl? What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Listen, I just had to tell people the game because you've been a part of my journey for so long during this radio movement. Like I said, you know, I had 40 in the family. Like, you know, you guys were heavy, and I just want to thank you for just continuing to push the line and inspiring myself and other people. So thank you up top.
Absolutely. You are so welcome. Thank you for sticking around long enough to give us some props. We appreciate your support.
It goes without saying, but also I'm going to keep saying it. Like, you know what I'm saying, with people who's built on paying it forward, I mean, the first lady of the first family of rap, you know, I gotta give credit where credit's due. So up top, thank you.
Right on. It's all good. God is good.
So listen, Suga T, you got 50 million jobs, and I want to say before I start talking about Eric and everything else, like, how do you keep yourself motivated? What motivates you to get up and keep doing all the shit you're doing now?
Struggle and hustle and statement making. You know what I mean? This is a critical time right now to stay present, you know, but you got to survive in between it because we're dealing with a whole bunch of foolishness of people who don't really appreciate the generals, and that actually our brands are being buried, you know what I'm saying, under a whole bunch of algorithms and a whole bunch of unfair, elements that is business, but at the same time, you got to sink or swim.
I always think about, stock, right? Like Suga T stock, like she has a catalog, that will last for days, and I could put it up against anybody in the industry, and that's just really based in lace-off competition. But at the same time, like, the appreciation for the work, right? Like, not just the work, but the impact that you've had in music. Like, why do you think it's, I always feel like, if your catalog got so much stock, that means the stock rises, right? That means the value of your stock means something. Why is it not that in this business these days? It's weird to me, though.
Yeah, that's real, because we're dealing with a mind-boggling element right now that, there's agendas that's trying to be accomplished. There's people who are trying to, get as much money and opportunity as possible out of, what's there and what's actually left, So there's a lot of moving pieces that, at one time. And so just taking it at layer by layer, it's doing a combo. It's doing like a 1-2 knockout punch on everybody. Like it's gonna put young people who are new in front of the game as if they're the innovators, and just bury the older generation and not make them seem as visible. So it's not just becoming a problem for us who could survive, because we survivors, especially us generals, we grew up in the era of hustle. We grew up in the era when you would have to stay outside all day and couldn't come back home. We survived. What I mean? It's like you had to come back when the lights turned on, and hope to survive here. We survived.
Street light just came on.
You got it.
My mama telling me to come home. You know how it is.
That's it. And we survived without internet and without phones and all that stuff. So we're believers, so we're going to make it, but it just don't appear that way because it may not appear that way to those who are lame and those who are inexperienced and those who are green and those who are not woke and those who are blinded by all the other things that surround them, or those who came in a generation that don't necessarily get that. You feel me?
Right, 100%. I mean, you like me. We grew up in this culture of, you know, not just survival, but, you know, authenticity, right? When it comes to, like, you had to be an original spitter. You had to come with some kind of talent, something, in order for it to stick, right? And I feel like what you and the clique did, and I'm just going to spotlight you real quick, what you did as not just a female MC, but somebody who generated a culture of appreciation and raw, rugged realism that came from what you do. Like, it, to me, it's important that we just, you know, the forefront, everybody can share the stage. You know what I mean? Like, not one person needs to be above anybody. We can all do what we do, but it needs to be acknowledged, right? It needs to be celebrated, and it needs to be recognized on a regular basis, not just every so blue moon. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you know, thank you. And yes, it's just interesting because, you know, it's definitely the right thing to do, but thank God we know how to celebrate ourselves. You know what I mean? And the real ones know how to celebrate us because the real ones have seen the whole thing. You feel me? So they like, wow, these are the real ones over here. Now, these, you know, this is a different thing going on. This is and you know, it's interesting because, you know, I'm sitting up here watching, well, you know, like I watch the internet and I'm on here, I'm on posts and I'm on these feeds that come up in your space and, you know, that's constantly feeding content. And I just see that, you know, there's people that's just really, really tired of seeing the same thing. They want more. And if you and being able to see that, you know, I ain't gonna lie, I be trolling the internet. I be on there saying stuff, writing Sugar T's name with the blue check and all.
That's it.
People be so annoyed with me. I'll be like, okay, did this have to turn into a twerk? It's like, oh my God, did you have to make everything into a clothing with a twerk? You know, and it's like, can we have more than a booty? You know, is this a booty fetish from everybody that keep pushing this mess? So they'll come back on the feed and they'll be talking crazy about me and saying stuff. I've had them where they attack me and they'll say stuff. And it's funny to me because, you know, I ain't no weakling.
That's right.
You ain't going to get me off. I'm not easily bullied. So I'm the type that just because you're trying to kick me out the room, I'm staying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's so funny because especially when I'm standing up for truth and for something that's going to help them, you know, help the people that's on there. It's like, is you guys sleep or something? Like, how could you enjoy this? And then, so, you know, I would say that, and I literally hear them say, well, I've heard these comments, which cracks me up. Well, you guys did it back in the day. You guys the ones that started it. Woo, woo, woo. I say, no, we did it, but it was way more to offer than just this. You know what I mean? That's the difference. You can't compare apples to oranges. This is an overkill right now. This don't make no sense. This is ignorance, it's foolishness, and there's nothing productive or culture forwarding in this. This is not culture forwarding, you know, progress. You feel me?
Stagnant. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And I think that's sad as far as the culture. Suga T's my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio. So I'm gonna put it out there and ask you this then, because what you just said is what I feel. Like, listen, I love the look of a beautiful woman. Listen, it's beautiful to see. But how many times are we gonna see the same thing from the same person, you know, from different people all the time? It's stagnant in the sense where it's just like, you know, variety has to come back in a way where it matters. Like, I feel like music matters when you put a lot of your soul into what you create and how you write and how you step in the booth and do what you do. Musically, somewhere along the line, we lost our way. What in the hell happened? Is it social media? Is it something more? Or is it just people just don't seem to care like they used to?
It's a combination of things, and I'm actually writing I have a documentary called The Rapidemic She Tale of Suga T and how rap became a pandemic and a weapon to the women who broke all the rules. I literally am writing I already started the documentary so I could tell the story because it's a story behind it. It definitely is a, you know, I seen the whole transition. You know what I mean? Like, it was going to be what it is right now. I'm like, whoa. So it was a knockout combo that came with it. You feel me?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, for the most part, and not so in depth, you know, not so deep thinking. It's people just being conditioned, because if they don't understand, which is why I recruit for cybersecurity, you know, and for internet, IT tech, and dimensions of digital, you know, experiences and exploration. Because if you don't really know, you know, how to, if you don't understand algorithm, social media, and all that comes with that, then, you know, you'll get caught and sucked right in to thinking, oh, my God, this must have been God telling me this because this came up. It's like, no, you just clicked on something and it came up, and because that's what the keywords are pointing to right now. And so it's going to come back and direct to you, retarget you. You feel me? So, you know, I think a lot of that is it's entertaining, but I think it's gotten out of hand, and now it's trying to morph into a norm. But the good thing is now it's kind of being forced on you now, because I'm seeing people saying, like, dang, do we got to, you know, keep this going? I have to keep looking at everybody's booty. We do something else. Where's the real rappers? Everybody, you know, now they're like, me, I can't stand this. You know, what are you guys doing? You guys are killing hip hop. Now I believe it's working for us that's been around, because it makes people appreciate us more now. You get what I'm saying?
Amen to that. And you got a catalog that's just not about the booty shaking, twerking, party all day type of vibe. Like, you can mix it up. And that's what I mean about diversity and the culture that you helped give birth to, right? Because it was a little something for everybody. If you wanted to party, you know, and do what you do, you had some thought-provoking, you had a little bit of everything for everybody, and that's what made the culture of what we really and truly grew up in mean something, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And I think it's important for people to, you know what I'm saying, continue to peep game. But here we are right now, 2024, and you got your hand on so many different things, Sugar T. And, you know what I'm saying, not just, you know, people can go check out sugar-t.com and check out all things that she's got going on. But, again, like I mentioned off top, you stay busy. You're just, and I'm going to talk about the album that you have out right now, which is hot and it's getting rotation on Nexxlegacy Radio. But off top, your business grind and your acumen to what you do, how do you, again, and I said this earlier, and I want all the people, young men, women, whoever, to really kind of peep game on what Sugar T is about to give you. Like, the motivation, I feel like you still have it there. You're still hungry. You still want to make sure that you pay it forward. What else is in the thing that you can be able to tell these young people that don't give up on being authentic? Because I feel like that's what's missing too.
Absolutely. You know, it's a well, I think a lot of times when people don't have nothing else to turn to, and that's all they do, they're just seeing what's in their face. They don't really know what they don't know, so they fall into, oh, this is my way, you know, out, or this is how you do this. You get what I'm saying? Right. And I think that's where, unfortunately, there's a problem, because they end up only seeing one thing, and then they feel like there's only one way to get to it. You know what I mean? And by doing that is when they start falling into the I gotta do it this way because it's all I know. You know, this is what everybody else is doing, so you know, this is what I should be doing. But the reality, when it comes down to authenticity, is what's for you is for you, and there's a lane for everybody. Everybody has a customer. You know, there's no way that you could reach millions of people and think that, oh, I'm about to be it doesn't make sense. You don't have to think, oh, I'm about to be the golden #1 Grammy winner of the most this. You don't have to even go there. You can say, I'm going to create a lane for myself. I'm going to do me. And, of course, I can't tell you how to do you, but I can say that doing you, make sure it's something for longevity and that gives you sustainability, mind, body, spirit, and soul, and financially. And, of course, you have multiple hustles, meaning that you should have a career. My recommendation is cybersecurity. There's platforms and different types of pathways within that whole aura. That's what we do. We recruit for that. Also, entrepreneurship, whereas you need to learn. And, of course, a job, a steady, regular paying job. So that way you could take your time and figure it out and pay for what you need along the way and pay for coaching, get a coach, somebody that's gifted for it. You know, I worked as a multiple stream coach to help, you know, create, produce, implement, and operate and build a brand for multiple streams. And I also, and there's many out there just like me, and of course make sure they're not a fake. And I also help people turn their pain into peace, passion, prosperity, and purpose. However, I do have a coaching and development school, SprinkleMeLearningAcademy.com, and those are classes that are quick crash courses that help you put things into implementation, you know, immediately. So it's, you know, in between you going to a trade of a different type that can transition you into a steady and sustainable income, you know, or college of some sort, or, you know, something in the space that can also give you some information on how to make some money and you can learn more. I also have coaching programs and master coaching programs also available for between classes and courses. However, to make a long story short, you have to have a steady income because that's the problem. People just want to jump into it and think, oh, I'm about to just go do this and this only, because you could become a burden on somebody. You know, you could be losing out on money that you could be investing in your career, you know, and you don't have to run around here bumming and making bad choices because you're trying to fit in and you're looking thirsty, trying to get something paid and trying to get dogged and mistreated and in places you don't need to be honest with you. So my point in saying that is that's one. Two, you know, you must know that authenticity is going to work because you're in a cesspool of foolishness. Right. You're in a cesspool of a whole bunch of the same brands. So therefore, authenticity could win at this point because realistically, people are really, really sick of this same stuff. So therefore, because it's just copycat, you know what I'm saying? So this is a good time, you know, for you to come in with your own lane, doing something different, you know what I'm saying, something innovating, you know, something, again, that gives you sustainability and multiple avenues for support if someone is going to invest, if someone is going to give you a branding deal, if someone is going to sponsor you, you know, give them more to work with than just foolishness, you know what I'm saying? And sex, money, alcohol, drugs, stripping, bullying, and bragging all the time ain't it. So if you're thinking of that kind of a brand, yes, confidence is great, but all that other stuff is self-destructing and is destructing others along the way by encouraging them through your music to live that kind of a lifestyle. And, of course, you won't last that long because people are dying off every day with lung cancer. They're dying with, you know, uterus cancer. They're dying with liver cancer and kidney cancer because of living a reckless lifestyle and not taking care of their body. So you have to be realistic, you know, and deal with personal development, mental health, you know, because that's not safe mentally if you're just thinking that's the way to live. So you have to address these things. And the last statement I'm going to say is think about this. If you were able to just reach in your own lane 10,000 people a year, okay, 10,000 people a year, 10,000, and they bought your CD, you had a T-shirt to go along with it, and you had one concert. You know what I'm saying? That could be about $100 ticket from 10,000 people, $100 each person. That's $1 million. So you can get $1 million just by reaching 10,000 people. You know what I'm saying? Of your own individual customers. You feel me?
Organic brand, Sugar T. And we had a godmama of hip-hop, Sugar T, is my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio. And what she's saying is good game, mainly because it's true. It's true to life. If people would practice this, I promise you, they would be able to, you know, reap the rewards of their own self-growth in their business and what they do. But also, you said something that's important that I've always been telling these people for hella days, Sugar T. Look, it's okay to invest in yourself. It's okay to do that. Don't wait for somebody to do it. You got to take advantage of you and invest in you. Am I lying or am I telling the truth?
You're absolutely telling the truth because people ain't investing like that, you know, unless they get a motive to pimp you out, you know, to put you in some agenda or something. So, you know, you are always, when you're in control and you can invest in yourself, this is the whole point of you having a job and being realistic, you know what I'm saying, about having money that comes in. Because then you can, and of course, being educated and understanding and knowing what to do, because at this point, you know, you're going to be able to make good choices and choices that actually get you further. So, you know, if you are paying for it yourself, you ain't got to wait on nobody. You don't owe nobody. You ain't got to kiss nobody behind. You know, you don't have to do what they want to do. And, you know, what someone else may want you to do that might not be as healthy for you. There's a whole lot of benefits in you know, being able to make money that can take care of yourself.
And what you mentioned earlier, Sugar T, about just, you know, you get them 10,000, you could be able to flip that into something real beneficial. And I always believe in that, because you can have 10 million, 100 million, you know, likes or whatever it is on a certain post, but, you know, you can do the math. Like, you can have, like, whoever your followers are, you can have 1 million followers, but what is the real percentage of those people really hitting you up and investing in or pouring that energy back into you and your craft and what you do, right? So you got to weigh the percentages out and realize that it's only like 2%. I got to find some organic views, not just that, organic people that's really going to holler at my work and pay it forward, meaning let me go buy this. Let me go take care of that. Let me go tweet that. Let me go, you know, forward that, you know, put it out there where people can be able to pour that back into the, you know, into the work that you put in, which, you know, brings up Harris right now. I mean, tell little people, I mean, I know it dropped April 7th. Tell little people about that, because, I mean, Big Mama Go, though, but there's a lot of other tracks off that thing, just, like, wonderful. So it was good to be able to get that sound, Sugar T. I mean, you got that distinct sound that's just like, oh, my girl brings back memories from back in the day, right? Like, I love you so much. So tell people about this project that just dropped.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate the encouragement. I really appreciate that you appreciate what I offer, because, you know, my goal is to definitely give people something else to work with besides drugs and violence and stripping and foolishness, and still be able to have fun and represent, you know, what hip-hop is about, and that's that edgy push, you know. But so hopefully I'm giving that. And,
right.
Right on. Well, tell people about Eris, right?
Yep.
So Eris I created Eris because it's a point where I'm noticing that we are calling people queens that basically are not necessarily representing queens, you know? And I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't okay. You know what? I'm not even just to go there and call myself no queen. I'm going to take it a whole nother step further, and I'm going to call myself an heiress, because it's a difference between, you know, a queen, and it's a difference between an heiress. A queen can be beheaded, because the representation of this queen thing that they going on, calling themselves queens, I'm like, wait a minute, where are they queening at? This is not no queening, because you should not be successful giving up your tail and telling everybody, oh, come get my tail. It tastes good, it feels good. You know what I'm saying? And think you wrong. There's nothing wrong about that. And this new queen game is bullshit. Excuse my language. It ain't no queen game. It's foolishness. It's self-destructing behavior. And you're not lifting up your neighborhoods like queens are supposed to do. You're not lifting up your community. You're not moving the culture forward, because this behavior that's being pushed is self-destructive behavior. You get what I'm saying? So my point is, I said, you know what? I might not fit into that scope, and I'm not trying to fit in. Believe it or not, I have no interest, not even a little bit, in fitting in. So I'm going to take myself separately, and I am going to call myself, and I'm going to represent the heiress, because the heiress you can't be beheaded. She has inherited the greatness and the goodness of blessings. You get what I'm saying? And you can't behead an heiress. You could behead the queen. So I say, y'all going to be queens, because at this point, you easy game to be beheaded. If you run around here like that, That's a problem. So let me show what an heiress is. Let me show how you get down and how you're able to position yourself in a different space, you know, and how we have us who have moved the culture forward, you know what I'm saying, and who are, you know, in a different space. I'm going to represent the heiress because I feel like that's the setup that I have because I've inherited it, and no one's going to take it away from me. You know what I mean? So that's where heiress came from, the whole concept. And I have a museum called Her Museum, as you may know. I started it about 3 years ago, and I did it specifically because of wanting to assure that we keep positive role models in front of the arts, because the arts is a very influential platform. So it was selfish to keep myself around and make sure that the kids always know about me and people know through the generations, but at the same time to also support others that are also innovators and who are positive women role models. And so by doing that, that's where Eris is a support to the museum, and it will be representing a talk, which is a part of the live. I do a 25th album celebration, and it is a 25th album celebration that represents all 25 of my albums, as well as a Queen View live VIP presentation. So that gives people a chance to get to know me and ask questions based on history and what they need to understand, and moreover, where they can understand how to carry, how to wear a crown but carry the essence of an heiress.
I think that responsibility that weighs upon not just you paying it forward and helping women understand that, but even men like myself and young boys who's growing up listening, not just listening, Sugar T, but comprehending what women are putting forward in this world we live in right now, because we need more of that. We need more people to really listen, comprehend, and appreciate, soak this game up, and do more and be more. And I'm going to tell you this quick story just about just how much of an impact that you had. I said it earlier to start the show, but I was also thinking about, you know what, I was, 3-4 years deep into, this radio thing that I got in the Bay. And I'm like, you know what, hey, I'm transitioning, trying to make a move. I had you, 40, B-Shot, B-Legit on, and I was like, you know what, my childhood hero did more for me on a 30-40-minute interview than and I've interviewed a lot of people, Sugar T, in my lifetime, but, it meant something to me. It's just like, you guys took the time out to pay it forward, and this station was small doing what it does, but I was like, you know what, I morphed that into, motivated me to, turn that into what this is now, Nexxlegacy. Tuesday is Ladies First. I just play all women's music, period, from all genres of music, right? So I was like, you know what, this is important for me to make sure that I do something for women and just spotlight women only. And I think we have to just say, hey, no conditions, let's just grow, and let's just make sure that we have a home that we can be able to spotlight people. And it's important in radio and entertainment just to be able to have a place where it's not ran by, and Sugar T, you know what I mean when I say this, it's not ran by, suits and people who, agendas, right? It's not laced with that. And to me, I think it's important for the culture of what we do to have avenues that you can have a home to say, hey, you know what, I don't have to strip down to nothing. I know I can get this put out there because I know it's going to be taken care of with zero conditions, and I mean that truly. And that's how much of an impact y'all had, you know what I mean?
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful, and I'm so proud of you, because people don't take longevity. They don't appreciate longevity.
Right.
And, longevity is everything. When you can stick around and have that sustainable, it takes a lot to keep something going. So congratulations, and I'm so proud of you as well for keeping it going and being able to create a space, for women who don't got to give away their tail and feel like they got to have sex with men and stuff to be able to get heard,
Right,
So,
and the only thing I want, Sugar T, is for people, women, men, children, to look in the mirror, do more, be more, find ways to be able to grow organically without trying to be able to do shortcuts. You know what I mean? Like that's the truth. The godmama of hip hop, Sugar T, is my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, and you talk about 25 years of albums. You know, I gotta ask you, you got some classic memories you want to share as far as stuff that will stand out within the test of time. You got one or two or three. You probably got more, but what are some moments, some concert moments, some video moments, some song moments that you were in the booth that you were like, you know what, I'm gonna stick with this forever as far as memories?
Well, I'll say one, and this is so funny to this day. My brothers, we were drinking one day, and it was that alcohol that had the worm in it. We had left Tijuana, Mexico, and we were drinking it. And I started, my brother was like, 40 was like, sis, you might not want to, drink it. That thing go sneak up on you. And I was just like, no, it's not. I got this. It ain't going to sneak up on me. I know what I'm doing. And I just kept on drinking it. And next thing you know, it snuck up on me. We were in a store. We stopped by a store. And I literally turned into a singer in the store. So they couldn't get me out of there, right? This concert right after, and I turned the whole concert into a singing concert.
Hey.
Wanted to kill me. And I was like, oh, my God. And I looked at the footage the next day, and I couldn't believe it was me. I looked like a whole different. I'm like, oh, my God. I literally turned. So that's when I said, if there is something deep inside my spirit, I need to make sure I put some singing albums, together. That's a part of my 25 albums. Is me. I literally have some blues albums. I got some jazz albums. I have some live albums with a band with my band, rhythm and rap, rhythm and soul, rhythm and blues. You know what I'm saying? And that was a large part of me literally turning into a singer.
Come on, Sugar. Like, I mean, from the Sprinkle Me days, like you had that voice, girl. Everybody knew you had that thing. So not just rap, like you harmonized beautifully. And I'm not saying this because you my homegirl. Like, listen, you got the Jane of all trades. You got a little bit of everything, Sugar T. You know this.
Thank you. Yeah, I love to sing. It's just so hard to transition from hip hop to singing in the same space, because of I was letting it stop me. So that's why I just went on ahead and I said, you know what? I'm going to record as much singing songs as I want to, and I don't care what people say, and I'm going to put it out. It doesn't necessarily have to be a single, So make sure I put it out so that it's there and continue to use my God-given gifts. You feel me?
That's it. Sugar T, I know you got more memories, but let me throw some your way. Like you ain't gonna say, like, me and you, we from the Bay, so you ain't gonna say nothing about Soul Beat. You ain't got no Soul Beat memories. No, that's where I heard. That's where I saw Practice Looking Hard for the first time, and I was like, that's it. You got Soul Beat memories?
I absolutely do. I got a whole bunch of Soul Beat memories. It's something to be proud of. They basically blew our career up in the Bay, as well as I believe they was in Detroit and a couple other places too. So we recently heard, outside of the Bay because of Soul Beat. And they really liked my song because it was called, Billy Badass.
Yeah.
That prevention, that violence prevention, a little bit of street in it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah. So I used to crack up because people were so, we probably took it for granted, people here that was in Oakland because they thought, oh, it's just this local channel, but that local channel is what got the attention, from various places and people that came here and visited, as well as the people in other states that they were actually in and the Bay Area.
No doubt.
I remember people calling in, harassing Linnell. Picking on Linnell. I was like, they were so mean. They would call in and be focused on the wrong stuff.
Hey, Sugar, you know those days of seeing like certain performances at the Eastmont Mall back in the day? Because remember they had those shows that just tied everything into that thing, right? It was, hey, memories.
I tell you.
Right.
Good
God
memories.
Mama's Hip Hop. Sugar T is my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, and before we shut it down, and you give all social media stuff as well, but I gotta ask you, like, you know, I mean, pretty much late 80s, 90s, y'all pretty much just took flight and did what y'all did as far as, you know, the culture of hip hop, right? But what is the best music decade according to Sugar T when it comes to all genres of music? What's the best decade?
You know what? I think I have to give it to my Queen of the West album. I think the 2020 decade was the best. When you say best, which part of best? Like the best, which one? I like 2020 because 2020 was, you know, powerful. I knew what I was saying and doing. I wasn't drinking. You know, I kind of, you know, was able to continue to showcase my skills and realize that I still sound like I was, you know, 15 and I hadn't lost the beat, you know. And I believe that was my Queen of the West album where I said I'm going to continue to share and bring information and bang out these tracks. You feel me?
Well,
yeah.
if people listen to Eras now, I mean, you never lost a step anyways. I mean, it's just, you know, just like fine wine, baby. That's just what it is. You never lost a step anyway. So, you know, hey, that's a testament to the skills you got. I mean, you know, it don't grow with age. It just you know, matures or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
that's real cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I just think decades of dominance when it comes to, like, you know, certain different genres of music and things like that. Like, you know, everybody's got a split note. Like, everybody say they love the 80s because, you know, it's clear diversity, right? Hip-hop was pretty much at its apex, you know, early burst, right? You know, different genres of music. 90s was a lot of self-discovery and a lot of entrepreneurship when it comes to some of the stuff out there. And the 2000s was, to me, I always look at it as a decade of reflection too. Like, you know, if you ain't had talent, you know, it was about to fall off pretty decent if you didn't really come with something, right? So it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, in terms of the era.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love the 90s. You know what I mean? In the 90s. When we got into the 2000s, I kind of lost interest because I just felt like at that point hip-hop wasn't growing at all.
Yeah.
It was the same thing, you know, and it had even ramped up to whereas, wow, this all we're going to talk about after, you know, being in the game for 16 years at that time. It was like, do we have to keep talking about this? Let me take a break. Let me see if there's something else I probably need to be paying attention to, you know, at this age and at this time in my life, so I don't get dumbed down. And just in case, you know, something changed, I don't want to be over here trying to figure it out. You feel me?
Right.
You know, it was for me, it was that kind of a let me take a pause time after that, you know, 80 and 90, after that late 80 and 90, because 80 was innovation. It was the, you know, Peter Piper picked peppers. It was the I Need Love. It was the LL Cool J's. It was the, you know, it was the Salt and Pepper. It was, of course, us in the middle going towards, you know, building out our space, you know, in the game. And it was just a different spirit, you know. It was a different spirit.
Yeah.
No, and I'm not saying that you know, it wasn't violence. It wasn't different things, but it wasn't showcased and glorified like it is now. You know what I mean? It was a different thing at that point. It was a different spirit that came with that violence. And every blue moon there would be a violent act that didn't make sense. But, you know, right now this is too much. It's just one type of presence of a woman, you know. But anyway, let me go back to your question.
That was the truth, though. You tell the truth.
was in that way. It was the spirit of that time. So yeah.
Nah, hey, Sugar T, you're right though, because you gotta think about it. Like, I mean, you know, if you rewind back the decades of hip hop, as far as, you know, the birth of, right? Like, we experienced, like, you know, we survived during the gang wars back in the 80s, right? Because it was rugged. You know what I mean? Like, we still, like, it was so bad. Remember those days of concerts that people would die over, you know, Jordans or whatever it was. Like, it was just a hot mess as far as, we can't even go see a UTFO concert because it was always something crazy, right? So it was ridiculous when it came to that. We phased out of that, and we had more of an opportunity in the 90s because we saw a lot of people winning. Like, every R&B group wasn't the same. Like, every rap group wasn't the same. Every rapper wasn't the same. So, you know, you're right. Like, somewhere along the way, creativity lost its edge. You know, a lot of people blame social media, but I don't. I blame the people who were heavily influenced by it. Like, social media is a tool. Let's use the hell out of it and make it work, right? But a lot of people just, you know, they just get so obsessed with it, they lose their way. So that means they just, you know, they don't go hard like they used to. And we got an opportunity, not just with Harris, that's out now, available now, dropped on the 7th. People can go get it, go download it, go support it, go pay it forward, go tell everybody. But I feel like this is a full circle of culture that we can be able to get back, because you said it earlier, Sugar T, we have an opportunity to seize control again. Nobody's taking control. We have that opportunity right now, today.
That's right. Well, you know, the thing is that, you know, if people got to be leaders. They're all followers, you know, and you know, and that's what happened to the industry is people became followers of business as usual. Oh, you got to stick to only one type of profile in order to be considered relevant. But that's the doggone lie. You know, if you roll your own movement, and if you get the mindset that is correct, that you ain't got to go and try to be like, you know, the artists that are basically in a whole different element of this game that you probably would not even want to you know, be a part of. You know, if you knew what was behind it, you got to kind of be more open about. You don't have to be like them that's in that other league. You can just build your own lane, and social media as well as knowledge, you know, in the right project, in the right team, in the right attitude, you know, at the end of the day, to get you there. Because a lot of times people just think, oh, because I'm talented, they don't like me. That don't matter if your attitude stinks, you know, and if you ain't, you know, likable and friendly enough to show appreciation of those who are supporting you, trust me, they're not going to support you. They're not going to like you. This industry is made by relationships. And it's also connected by who's going to endorse you, you know, who's going to share your content, who's going to interview you, who's going to like you, who's going to trust you, you know, who wants to, you know, see you win. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And it's worse than ever now because a lot of the, you know, media, they want to be stars too. So therefore they're like, well, why should I put you on? You know?
That's what I got a problem with.
What if I go get out of it? You know?
For real, exactly. And I have a problem with that, and I've been calling out journalists for exactly what you just said, because this ain't even about me, it's about you. It's about me finding ways to pay it forward to you, because you are my spotlight right now. Let me make sure that I get all that I can get out of the appreciation of the effort and the career and all the shit that you can think of, you know what I mean, to do that stuff. And as a journalist, it ain't even about me, man. It's about that person that you trying to push forward, because that's, hey, what's that one line of juice? It ain't one man above the screw. You know this.
That's right, exactly. You know, it's crazy because, you know, you're dealing with that kind of a spirit that this type of hip hop has created. And this type of what's going on. Everybody want to be a star. So and everybody want attention and to be seen. But And it's nothing wrong with it, you know, but you should be in a fair place for that. If you're not going to really push nobody, or you don't want to see people, you know, go forward, then you shouldn't do that type of career. You should just be a star yourself and not hurt nobody in the middle. So because we're dealing with that type of an aura, you who are trying to get in the game, you know, you have to remember that, you know, you're not just going to get pushed because you got sound or you got a good album. You know, it's your character, it's your personality. You know, and that's why I go back to, you need to make sure you got some income, because when you're dependent like that, you know, that's how you get played. That's how you make bad choices. You know what I mean? That's how you end up wasting. You feel me? And that's how you end up wasting your time. So
that's right. That's right. Godmama of hip hop, Suga T is my guest, and as we wrap it up, I gotta before you give your shout out to all your social media and everybody, you know, I gotta ask a question. You know, hey, not just people in the Bay, but myself, everybody. Hey, is there or could there be a Click? I don't even want to say reunion, a Click album that, or EP, or single, or something that may come in the near future? We all want to know this.
Most definitely, we have a project that we're working on now. We actually have some we have Click songs that are out. You know, they're just not singles. You know what I mean? So there's places that you can listen to those. They're in different places. I think one of them is on the Don't Get Caught soundtrack. I think that's the latest one. It's called Don't Get Caught. So you can definitely hear a Click single there. It's on the Don't Get Caught soundtrack, produced by my brother D-Shot. And you can also stream it in different areas of streaming. So I believe Tubi and quite a few other streaming platforms. As well as the soundtrack, you can find that right there on you know, Spotify and other traditional streaming spots. So yeah, we definitely, and then we're working on another project. I will announce it when it happens, you know. So I'll let you know, and you'll be able to interview us as well. I don't want to put too much out there because I like to have everything placed before announcing it publicly, you know, to not allow the energy demons to gravitate and try to So
hey, before you give people a two-piece of new information, you got to make sure it's vetted and dealt with first. It's all good. So we ready for it, though.
That's right, because you got to remember that, you know, the darkness, they can hear what you're saying, but they can't hear what's in your mind. They take your words, you know, and run with it. Even though it's protected by the gods, you know, the spirit gods, those who are, you know, are within the light and then can full control, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to be landed like that. But yeah, they definitely can hear that. And not only that, you know, Charles, I want to make sure that I give a shout out to autism. This month is Autism Awareness Month, and I'm a full advocate of autism awareness. People can go on my website right now at sugatea.com and order the fragrance. I am officially releasing a fragrance that supports little girls with autism, programming that supports girls with autism, as well as a proportion goes to moms of children with autism, wellness and beauty programming. So people, again, can go get the Eris album through streaming sites. They could also go to my website and get an exclusive version of it, which is at sugatea.com. So that's sugar-t.com, and work it out like that. And it's all streaming. It's all ready for people to listen and enjoy a good listen. This is a good listen, right, Charles?
Hey, let me co-sign that. It's a good listen. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's gonna take you up, baby. It ain't gonna take you there. It's gonna give you something to grow with, not something that's gonna push you a different direction. Okay?
Amen to that. Hey, and check it out though, for the people out there that just, you know, maybe there's some people out there, Suga T, that don't know you, that's just about to check you out for the very first time. I'm telling you, you grab Eris, people are gonna want to go backwards and be like, hey, how did she get started? Where is this? Let me go find the Clicks album. Let me go find some of her solo projects. let me go find this, this, and this. I'm telling you, it's just one of those things where I feel like it's super universal for a lot of people, not just in the culture, but also for people who's out there just listening to you for the very first time. Maybe they, early teens and they don't know the full history of Suga T. Maybe they in their 20s or whatever it is. Like, it's a good jump on period for people to go backwards also and go check out the classics too.
I totally agree with you because I've been getting a lot of stragglers just coming through,
Yeah.
and all that, because I've been making sure that people online, I haven't put no heavy marketing behind it quite yet, but I am for that purpose. But it's been very rewarding, just the little small marketing that I have done, because, I run this whole enterprise. So being a record label, I put it out through Suga T Music, and of course I'm a thick-witted artist through the Click, but through my own independent, record label, just managing the team and the things around it is a whole nother monster.
No doubt.
But I've definitely seen quite a bit of upgrades in my streaming and people coming to the site. They're just really, I feel like they're just really enjoying a refresher. Like, wow, thank you, somebody.
Hey, it's needed. It's needed, Suga T, but also deeper than that. Hey, wait till Nexxlegacy put a little effort behind this marketing thing. We're about to go crazy for you though, because this is our way to pay it forward and make sure that you get your flowers. You know what I mean? So wait till we got it, and I'm glad that this is what it is. But also wait till it continues to grow. It's gonna be organic. It's going to be live. It's going to be in celebration of who you are and what you've accomplished. And I can't be no prouder. You know what I mean? So, love it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I need all the support I can get, and I appreciate you.
And I appreciate it. Godmama's Hip Hop, Suga T, my guest, and I can't thank you enough. And, hey, here's to future forward of nothing but positivity, good energy, good vibes, and just straight down to business. Let's grow. Let's grow. Let's grow.
All right. In there.
Thank you for listening to the #1 radio station for the people.